You're about to climb into a 200-mile-per-hour death machine. Your life depends on split-second decisions. One wrong move and you're history. So what do you do to prepare? If you're a NASCAR driver, you avoid peanuts like they're poison. You refuse to touch a $50 bill. And you absolutely, positively never drive a green car. Welcome to the bizarre world of NASCAR superstitions, where grown men making millions of dollars are terrified of snack food. These aren't just quirky habits, they're deadly serious rituals that have controlled racing for nearly a century. The deadly peanut problem. Let's start with something that sounds absolutely ridiculous. NASCAR's war against peanuts. It's the 1930s. Races are held at fairgrounds, and teams work underneath grandstands while fans munch peanuts above. Naturally, peanut shells rain down everywhere, landing in cars and on crews. Here's where it gets dark. When drivers crashed and died, which happened way too often back then, rescue crews would find peanut shells scattered throughout the wreckage. It happened once, then twice, then again and again. The breaking point came in 1937 with two separate fatal crashes, one at Langhorne Speedway, another at Nashville Fairgrounds. Both times witnesses swore peanut shells were everywhere in the wreckage. Before long, a superstition was born that has lasted nearly a century. Even NASCAR legends like David Pearson, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Junior Johnson refuse to let peanuts anywhere near their operations. Today, many tracks won't even sell peanuts in shells, and drivers will lose their minds if they catch anyone eating them in the pits. While we're talking about things that seem harmless but terrify NASCAR drivers, let's dive into the color that's supposed to represent good luck everywhere else in the world. But in racing, it's basically a death sentence. The green car curse. Green cars are bad luck. Period. This goes back to 1920 and Gaston Chevrolet. Yes, the car company brother. He won the Indianapolis 500 that year, then later entered a race at Beverly Hills Speedway driving a bright green car. On lap 146, while making a pass, his green car made contact with another competitor and shot up the banking. 3 people died that day: Gaston, fellow racer Eddie O'Donnell, and O'Donnell's mechanic. From that moment, green became the most feared color in racing. For decades, you literally couldn't find a green car on any racetrack. Drivers would rather walk away than climb behind the wheel of one. The superstition was so strong that former NASCAR driver Rick Crawford said, "My granddaddy didn't like people even wearing green to the track. They'd actually turn around and go back home if a pit crew member was wearing green." Think about that. Grown men would drive hundreds of miles, spend thousands of dollars, then go back home because someone wore a green shirt. The curse didn't break until the 1980s when Darrell Waltrip won 12 races and the 1981 championship driving a green Mountain Dew car. But even as the green superstition has faded, another color-related fear has taken its place, and this one involves cold, hard cash. The $50 death trap. If you ever meet a NASCAR driver, don't hand them a $50 bill. They'll look at you like you just pulled the pin on a grenade. July 19, 1964, Riverside International Raceway. Joe Weatherly, a 2-time NASCAR champion, was given 2 $50 bills by a friend for good luck. Hours later, Weatherly was dead. His car slammed into a concrete barrier and both $50 bills were found in his shirt pocket. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was probably the most famous believer in this superstition. The intimidator would literally run away if someone tried to hand him a 50. Even today, drivers won't touch 50s on race weekends. They'll take hundreds, 20s, 10s, or singles, but not a grand. Speaking of numbers that drivers avoid, there's one that's so feared in NASCAR that it barely exists anymore. And the statistics behind it will blow your mind. The unlucky number 13. In the entire history of NASCAR Cup Series racing, spanning over 70 years and thousands of races, the number 13 has won exactly one time. That victory came in 1963 at Daytona, when Johnny Rutherford drove the number 13 to victory lane. But here's the kicker. It wasn't even a points-paying race. It was a qualifying race that didn't count toward the championship. Over 530 races, more than 160 DNFs, and only one win that didn't even count. The number has been driven by some serious talent over the years. Mario Andretti, A.J. Foyt, Bobby Unser, and even 1970 champion Bobby Isaac all tried to tame the unlucky 13. None of them could make it work. NASCAR itself has acknowledged this superstition. They number the pit stalls so that no crew gets stuck working in the 13th position. When Joe Weatherly, yes, the same guy with the $50 bills, qualified 13th for a race, NASCAR actually let him start in position 12A instead. Most racing series won't even allow the number 13 in their fields. But here's what makes this even weirder. In recent years, a few brave souls have actually tried to embrace the number 13, believing they could reverse the curse. Pastor Maldonado, a Formula One driver, specifically chose number 13 when drivers were allowed to pick permanent numbers in 2014. In motocross, several riders have worn 13 and actually found success, leading some to wonder if confidence might be more important than superstition. Still, in NASCAR, you'd be hard-pressed to find any driver willing to take that risk. Now, if unlucky numbers and cursed money weren't strange enough, there's one place on the NASCAR schedule that drivers approach with genuine fear, and for good reason: the Tallaladega curse. Legend says Tallaladega Superspeedway was built on cursed Native American burial grounds. Others claim an old medicine man cursed the land before the Abika tribe was forced to leave in the 19th century. Whether you believe in curses or not, the track has been the site of some of the most bizarre and terrifying moments in NASCAR history. The legend really took hold after the 1973 Talladega 500, when something happened that still gives people chills today. Bobby Isaac was leading the race when he suddenly pulled his car into the pits and climbed out. Just like that. No mechanical problems, no wreck, no explanation. Isaac later said he heard a voice telling him to get out of the car immediately or he would die. Here's the really spooky part. Isaac didn't know it at the time, but another driver had been killed earlier in that same race. The voice, whatever it was, might have saved his life. Talladega has seen more than its share of tragedy over the years. Fatal crashes, freak accidents, and unexplained incidents that have left drivers and fans shaking their heads. Even today, some drivers approach Talladega with special rituals or extra caution, believing there's something supernatural about the place. But not all NASCAR superstitions are about avoiding bad luck. Some are about trying to create good fortune through the strangest possible methods. Race day rituals and food superstitions. Sterling Marlin had eaten the same pre-race meal for years, a simple bologna sandwich. Nothing fancy, just bologna, bread, and maybe some mustard. In 1994, he ate his usual bologna sandwich and went out and won the Daytona 500, the biggest race in NASCAR. The next year, same sandwich, same result, another Daytona 500 victory. Sterling was convinced he'd found the secret to success. But then life intervened. One race weekend, his usual bologna sandwich wasn't available. He ate something different instead. His winning streak at Daytona was over. He never won there again. Food superstitions are huge in NASCAR, and they're deeply personal to each driver. Marcos Ambrose, the Australian NASCAR driver, swore by Vegemite spread before races, a taste of home that he believed brought him luck. Danica Patrick, despite claiming she didn't believe in superstitions, admitted that certain foods helped her get in the right mental state for racing. But it's not just about what drivers eat. It's also about what they refuse to eat. Chicken bones are considered bad luck by some late model racers, though nobody can explain exactly why. The key is consistency. If you eat something and have a good race, you keep eating it. If you eat something and wreck, that food is banned forever. And if you think what drivers put in their bodies is important, wait until you hear about what they refuse to take off their faces. This next superstition has kept razor companies from making millions in NASCAR endorsements, and it all started with one tragic decision in 1936. The shaving superstition. George "Doc" McKenzie was a Depression-era racer who was known for his trademark goatee. He called it his lucky goatee and never raced without it. But on the morning of a race at Milwaukee in 1936, for reasons nobody knows, Doc decided to shave it off. That afternoon, he died in a racing accident. Whether the shaving had anything to do with it or not, the story spread throughout the racing community. From that day forward, many drivers have refused to shave on race day, believing that changing their appearance might change their luck. Today's drivers might claim it's about comfort or tradition, but deep down, they're following a superstition that's nearly 90 years old. Lucky charms and personal rituals. But not every NASCAR superstition is about avoiding bad luck. Some are about attracting good fortune. Dale Earnhardt's most famous lucky charm came from an unlikely source, a 6-year-old girl named Wessa Miller. Wessa had spina bifida and met Dale through a Make-A-Wish Foundation the day before the 1998 Daytona 500. As a parting gift, she gave him a penny, which Dale immediately glued to his dashboard. The next day, Dale Earnhardt finally won the Daytona 500, the one race that had always eluded him. That penny is still in the car, which now sits in the Richard Childress Racing Museum. Other drivers have their own personal talismans. Sebastian Vettel keeps a lucky coin hidden somewhere nearby during races. Tazio Nuvolari wore a tortoise pin as his good luck charm. Some drivers talk to their cars before races, believing the vehicle needs to be mentally prepared for battle. Valentino Rossi, the motorcycle legend, kneels next to his bike before every race for a private conversation. The rituals extend to how drivers get dressed and enter their cars. Some believe the right side of the body holds all the luck, so everything goes on the right side first. Gloves, suit, helmet, everything. Juan Pablo Montoya always enters his car from the same side and buckles his belts in the exact same sequence, whether he's practicing or racing. What do you think? Are these superstitions harmless fun, or do they actually have power over NASCAR's biggest stars? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Track Reactions, your source for all the stories on and off the track.